Thanks, Mark. Mark teaches for this program too, so I'm going to tell you a little bit more. I'm not going to go tell you about the long story of how cyber operation and resilient program got built, but like all good academic, right, we write a paper about it. There's a paper for you to read on how core program become what it is, but I'll tell you more. But I come from electrical and computer engineering background, okay? So my full title is actually Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering, but I actually do very little in electrical and computer engineering. I do spend most of the time running the cyber operation and resilient program and working on cyber informed engineering with Ginger. So also do a little bit for Rita in the Zero Trust project. So I probably have about 4 jobs, but I'll tell you what, cybersecurity workforce development is really important, pretty critical, but there's another part that I'm even more worried about. We're not going to have enough future engineers. If you think about anything related to Internet of Things and anything that is electronic control system, anything that has electronic hardware, software, embedded system, control system, microprocessor, is all semiconductor based. All those manufacturing all happening offshore, and we're in the process of bringing it all back onshore. And we're not going to have enough of the workforce to do it. So I'm working on that too. So I'm going to tell you more. But I'm going to give you, this started about 3 years ago. We, between Lewis and Clark, we actually built 2-degree pathway where community colleges, students who have AAS degree, okay? If you do not know the difference between an AAS and AAS degree, they are huge difference. AAS degree usually has a really proper and formal transfer pathway. They are not going to lose as many credit hours. An AAS degree, like an IT support specialist or cybersecurity, if they intend to obtain a traditional engineering degree, a computer science degree, usually they lose almost half of their AAS credit hour degree. The credit hour, they'll lose them. It's because there's no transfer pathway tailored to them. We built it between Lewis and Clark and us. We built that pathway possible, and for most of the AAS students, they are able to come in. So I know this is really complicated. Academic always really proud of their degree box, okay? So I want you to, I'm not going to talk this whole thing too, but I'm going to tell you that I have simplified this, give flexibility to students for them to decide what they want to take, because there are a lot of options for them to be concentrating on. This is not, there's quite a bit of technical skill set there. So 120 credit hour, the blue box is, if you are AAS, a community college, you've completed an associate degree, your technical credit hour will go onto the top blue box. Got it? You might lose 1 to 3 credit hour, but in general, we have designed it to a point you don't lose them. The orange boxes are required classes, and then the bottom is a gen ed. So if you come in with an AAS degree, you really only needed to concentrating on the 2 orange boxes. We have built it where it is possible for you to complete 80 credit hour at community colleges at a low cost and finish the last 40 with us. So what it means is you complete an AAS degree, whether it is in IT support specialist, cybersecurity AAS degree, and then also complete your general education requirements, so you're called a Gen Ed certified. You only needed to finish the last 40 credit hour with us, or asynchronous online. You don't need to come to Boise. I believe you don't need to go to a Lewiston too, but their degree is a bit more computer science and cybersecurity management based, okay? So if you look at that, right, I'm not going to read all this on the classes, but I can send you information if you wanted it. So what we have done is, okay, it's kind of busy slide, right? No, oh man, what have I done? Busy slide, right? Oh man. Okay, busy slide. Did you see that? We moved some of the required classes to options, so let students pick and choose what they wanted to do. Increase the flexibility, so there's only 27 credit hour that is required. I have worked with a few people. I have to require that 27 credit hour because I need them to understand the fundamental. I want them to understand the big picture system thinking, see how things are interconnected. I need them to know some networking. I need them to know the basic of a lot of components. Like Security Plus is a good basic certification. I want them to know quite a bit of the topic in there. I really needed them to know risk management. The truth is, you shouldn't be really start spending money until you've done a risk assessment and put together a risk management plan. Then you know where you should be spending money, and then they get to pick and choose. It's wide open. Then I usually teach, so I run around. So it's like, is it causing problem for you? Okay. So I usually walk around because I'm not capable of standing still. So, so we also design a graduate degree to help anyone and everyone who already have an undergraduate degree to pivot. I know this is completely crazy. Why am I doing that? Because if we need a cybersecurity workforce, we got to be able to go find those people that wanted to pivot. We got to help them to pivot. That's the idea. Okay. When I say like, do I have to be technical? No, you don't. We have helped nurses pivot during pandemic or after pandemic. I said, no, I don't want to do that anymore. Okay, guess what? This particular student who have no IT and cyber background did a AI and machine learning class. She had to learn Python. So everything like go on and simultaneously like learn Python and do this. Guess what she got? Not long after that, she found a job working as a data analyst for a hospital, not the hospital she worked for, another hospital. We also have someone, because this is an asynchronous online program, we also have someone that live in rural Idaho that does not have IT and cyber background, coming back to school second time because the first time did not work too well. It didn't work well, come back the second time, living in rural Idaho, able to concentrate in a couple of semesters in, found a IT intern job, a cybersecurity intern job, working in the policy and risk assessment area, working for a multinational company. Okay? And also veteran Army, finishing multiple term and come out and did this program, Lawrence, somebody did this program in 12 months. Okay, this complete 30 credit degree on this particular degree in 12 months. I was like, dude, don't do it this way. You're going to burn yourself out. I say, I have no choice. I have this window of opportunity. I got to get it done. He did. Now he works for a cybersecurity company that do risk assessment, even run their business operation too. So those are just a few cases. So this degree box is pretty complicated too. You know, as we design new classes, it makes it complicated as their degree requirement, right? So I simplified it too. You like it? You see the difference? I set it up for them to pick and choose what they wanted to take. Keep it really flexible. Okay? You can go completely technical, but I'm going to show you, go back to last slide, right? If you look at the orange boxes, right, there are some really technical classes. There are some risk assessment classes. There are much more big thinking classes in terms of cyber resiliency. For you to think about resiliency is not, you gotta be able to define resiliency using more than the word resiliency. Okay, I've seen so many talk out there. We're gonna get into a lot of argument with it. So we simplified it, give student and anyone attempted to do this the option to pick and choose what make them tick. That's what I'm trying to do. So so these are the new things. So those two degree has been running, those program or degree has been running for 2 years, asynchronous online. I'm basically the bureaucrat that runs the program. I have expert and a professional that help us develop the classes and teach the classes, right, Mark? And the reason why it's possible is we have e-campus, a e-campus process where we can bring in the expert, and eCampus instructional designer will help the subject matter experts put together a curriculum, and then we go on a rotation to offer them. For some classes, we offer them every 7 weeks. No, so each semester has 14 to 15 weeks, and we offer our classes over a 7-week session. So we have 6 sessions a week. Some classes we offer them every 3rd session. Some classes we offer them 3 times a year. So it's because some of the required classes we got to do it that way. And we have advisor that help me, but I'm going to need to set up internship and mentor, and so there's still a lot of work to do. So these are the new classes. As we go on, it turned out those students completed AAS degree has a lot. And I knew this to begin with, because before I set out to do this, right, is I got to design a proper degree completion pathway for community colleges students. We got it done. It turned out a lot of them come in with a lot of hands-on skill sets. Some of my students that come into the traditional pathway, not community college, right, they end up does not have some of the skill sets that I need them to have. So we address that by adding 4 more classes. We want them to understand how to take a problem, DVE up into smaller pieces, and implement it. Okay, so called computational thinking. We want them to understand blue team and how to defend some of the basic skill sets. We want them to understand about virtual machine operating system and understand some of the cloud computing type of things. And cyber operation networking, understanding why networking is important, the basic of it. And the long list of classes, those are the new classes. Some of them has been built, some of them will be built in the next 6 to 18 months. One that I'm really excited about is cybersecurity risk quantification. Sometimes when we do risk assessment and risk management, we use high, low, and medium. It's really not very useful, okay? Because ultimately, we need number. Maybe above 80% is the things that we really need to pay attention to. So we got a class, risk quantification using probability and also Monte Carlo to help determine what you should be worrying about, and with a lot of activity and exercises. Industrial control system, we just offered it over summer with some of the online labs, and we have completed one offering. There are probably some changes that we need to make, but I think it worked well enough because we introduced students to some, even though it's virtual, they do PLC virtual programming, because being an online program is impossible for us to ship PLC and coming to lab, right? For them to be able to use the hardware. So, but there's one more thing that I'm more excited about. I'm not going to go through the whole list. Is the how do you develop policy? That's another thing that we need to be doing and need to be teaching. So, and I have an expert in forensic that's going to work with us on the digital forensic and e-discovery procedure. How do you collect the evidence? How do you present the evidence? So, you guys see it? There's some non-technical pathway. There's some technical pathway, right? We need that because I started on this journey designing cybersecurity, or we call it cyber operation curriculum, is traditionally not exactly what you said. There's some gatekeeper, and there are a lot of confusion even within my own university, thinking cybersecurity is in computer science. Cybersecurity does not belong to computer science. Cybersecurity doesn't belong to engineering as well. Cybersecurity belongs to everyone. You know, that layer that cut across everything. Okay, so that's why I'm going to go on the expedition in designing a program where everyone and anyone who's interested will be able to pivot and get an education and get into it. Okay, so these 2 programs currently has over 300 students enrolled. So, which means that I create even more work for myself. And I want to give a shout out to Idaho Workforce Development Council, who make an investment on us with $833,000 in early 2020. Right now, this is a multi-million-dollar program. I do not depend on university money or state money, the tuition dollar, because we run it as an online self-support program. It runs itself. just keep investing on itself. So to counter some of the learning deficiency in terms of some of the computing resources some students may not have, we also have started an online learning lab too, which is on, it, not exactly part of the university, but it is on its own virtual private network, where students can request access 30 days at a time and come into our network. There's probably about 30 VM with different things running. They can come in and scan how to run the network, looking at dashboard, a different thing, different activity that they can do. Okay, so that's another thing that we got going. Okay, so the next thing I'm doing is, because I personally come from electrical and computer engineering background, and we are started to onshoring semiconductor, we really needed to build the workforce for this industry to be healthy, and for there's enough workforce engineer or anyone to need to run this. So, so Semiconductor for All, it is all about getting kids interested. It is an outreach program. Some of us who might be old enough to know this. Remember in the olden day when we go on a road trip, what do we have? We have a map that folds or unfolds, right? We know where we're going to start. We know where we're going to end, correct? Sometimes we know exactly which road we're going to take, but sometimes we don't, because there are different side roads that might be interesting for us to get there, right? So the idea is this. The idea is we are not going to start a new Semiconductor for All or workforce initiative going after the same student, the group of students that are already interested. We're going to go and show it to kids at junior high or even elementary school to get them introduced to them what semiconductor is and what it's all about. Potentially attract them into the STEM education pathway. Could be in engineering, but I have a personal bias in electrical engineering, and computer engineering is my thing. So I believe if you can see where the electron coming from and how the current flow, you can visualize it, you can solve a lot more different problems. That's kind of personally what I think. So we are going, so let me, when I get talking, sometimes I lost my train of thought. So what it is what I want to say, the map idea I'm talking to you about is show kids what it is. These are the potential job role. What are the education pathway you can get there? That's the big idea. And we're going to start it off by working with IDLA. You might know what IDLA is. It's Idaho Digital Learning Alliance. It's a K-12 online school for Idaho. So we are going to design, they're going to help us design 3 classes. The first one, it is not boring title given like us, the adult, called Introduction to Semiconductor. That is too boring. We got kids help to title it. I think it's a pretty good title. Chip, 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 hooray. The amazing roles of semiconductor. We want to introduce to them how semiconductor plays such an important part of our life, including in agriculture, not just at Micron. Or you probably know Micron headquarters in Boise, right? They make memory. It's not just Micron. It's not just On Semiconductor in Pocatello. It used to be On Semiconductor. Now it's called, I believe it's owned by LA Semiconductor. So it is not just semiconductor company. So, and then that map, I hope I'll be able to hire a graphic designer to be able to help me put together a map that I can even print it too, that can fold as well, Phil, to be able to show what are the education pathway. And then once you get them in, you show them what are the community colleges, undergraduate degree, graduate degree, what do they want to be. If they wanted to be a chip designer, chances is they're going to be doing electrical engineering or computer engineering. If they say, I want to be a firmware or software programmer, computer science. They say, I wanted to look at the next big material, potentially wanted to replace silicon. That's going to be a tough one. It's probably material science. So there are different majors. I say, ooh, I'm really interested in supply chain and how all the things that need to come together for us to make a product. There's supply chain classes in business, so different pathway. For a semiconductor or engineering company to run well, you do not just need the engineer. You need all the business people, you need finance people, accounting people, HR people. You need all that. So that's what we want to do. And Okay, this, I don't expect you to read this. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. Those are the job role on the side. It could be technician, could be engineer, traditional education pathway to K to 12 community colleges, undergraduate degree and advanced degree, or somebody that is somebody already in the workforce and has some working life and they wanted to pivot, non-traditional student, and how do we help them pivot? They could be a test engineer, say they want to be a design engineer. Oh, maybe there's a short-term, a 12 credit hour circuit design certificate that they can do in 6 months or 9 months for them to learn their skill sets. That's what I got. Any question?
I don't have a question, but a comment. I think what you're doing is kind of amazing, and I hope that you understand the value you're bringing to people's lives. That's life-changing work for people.
I do. When a student come and tell me the life story, or I got this student came and talked to me and say, I didn't realize what I say sometime, right? So I have to be careful. Plus, I'm a full profit tenure, right? I joke about what they're gonna do, right? So the students say, come to me, I'm really having trouble to understanding or catch up to what's going on, and I don't have an IT and cyber background. And I believe only thing that I told her, I say, one bite at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. She said, put your head down, just do it. One assignment at a time, one thing at a time. Okay? She got it done, graduated, and guess what? She lived she lived in the Haley, Idaho area. Except some rich people with some really expensive houses, there is really not much of a high-tech industry there. But she was able to still live in the area with husband's family lived from that area, lived there to be able to work remotely. So, I, I, I try, but I don't try not to get too much into it. Is because ultimately I got a pretty comfortable job. I get to do what I want to do. So Rita, no. Anything else? Yes.
So with the degrees, so like I'll say with that bachelor's, I saw, it's asking for like network plus security plus. And I know there's a lot of people in cybersecurity who are trying to get into it that don't have the degree,
Yep.
and that's what's keeping them sometimes from getting it.
Yep.
But they do have those certifications. So does that program allow them, if they have it, they can kind of clip out of that class and
Yes. Yes.
credit?
Well, I did a lot of traditional thing, but I never will get fired for this kidding. So what happened is somebody come in with network plus and security plus. We have a process to get them 6 credit hour. And then we, as a graduate degree, we also work certification as part of the degree too. Okay? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, and what certifications for that graduate? Because I saw that, you can either teach a
You,
course, write a paper, or do research for
yeah,
the
yeah,
certification.
so it's like, you know, there are 3, you have to pick 2, but actually it's, you have 3, you can pick. We actually allow someone to do 2 certification. They can do 1 certification or learn something about teaching and help in teaching to learn some to teach, because we actually need a lot of cybersecurity instructor at different level too. And the other one is research and publish. So they pick 2. So, yep.
This is benefits the community, but it's also, you need a lot of support from the community. So people here and people watching on YouTube when we post it, if they want to help contribute and see, which maybe mentioned instructors, how can they help?
Oh, yeah. Contact me and talk to me. I run this whole. I run the semiconductor is a $10 million program. It's brand new. The contract hasn't even been signed, but it's $5 million from. I will answer that question. $5 million from Idaho Workforce Development Council, and $5 million is a cost share from BSU. Okay, so that thing is going to launch. So, it's, to be honest, that scared me a little bit, because the concept that I have sold, I'm not sure I can do it. But haha, I got 3 years to do it. We'll work on it. But for the cyber op program, right? I run it with 100% cybersecurity professional adjunct. Okay? There are something that is critical for me, the full-time people. I have 2 full-time people only working for the program. Everybody else adjunct teaching a class 7 week at a time, okay? I have a couple of full-time people taking care of administrative and like for example, capstone class, undergraduate capstone class with so much mentoring, meeting, and their project management. I cannot give it to an adjunct. It's not fair. I have to have a full-time person helping student run it to be able to respond to student in a timely manner. Yep. So it's 100% adjunct. Isn't it crazy? People still doesn't like how I approach it. But because we can never afford to hire a cybersecurity professional to teach, even if you can hire one, if they not keep up to date, right? Within a couple of years or 6 months or 12 months or 24 months, they're completely outdated. They're not as useful to me anymore. So I rather them be professional. I hire them for a specific thing that's what they do. It's really helpful. Okay.
You may have mentioned this, but I think I missed it if you did. Are these online or in residence?
Asynchronous online. Completely online is the way sometimes people define online is you still have to go to a class at a particular time to Zoom, right? Which is a really terrible learning environment. It doesn't work. Okay. It's asynchronous online, meaning that the curriculum, the classes has been designed, okay, has been pre-designed. So usually you have things due on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. There's a virtual office hour is not required, and the instructor is usually a phone call and email away. And the I ask instructor to do 1 virtual office hours a week. And most students, when they go on a virtual office hour, they are not even talking to them about content. They're asking them about careers, information, career advice. So it was unintended. Yep. Asynchronous online. And this the latest thing, because I have hired a full-time person, the latest thing that's happening is we got a Discord server with 200 students participating. The amount of traffic is crazy, and some of you all can comment on it. It's completely crazy. And I told students, you should join the Discord server. You guys can help each other out, and sometimes instructor don't respond to you like in the next 2 minutes, right? You can ask somebody for help. And I told him you should join because I'm not in that server to shut down any communication or interaction that you have. Asynchronous online, which I think is the way to learn. Go ahead, Lon.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I just completed the program for the masters. And then it was great, both the fact that you have people from all kinds of different backgrounds who joined. So you have me who came in as a highly technical, but you also have people who were transitioning from other careers. We had people who are here in Idaho. We had people in England. We had people in the Middle East who are joining. And it's kind of cool when they're up, say, giving their video, introducing themselves, like, oh, our internet goes out at night. Here's what we're doing, and getting stuff in. And so it's kind of cool to get that worldview of everyone who's able to go in and learn from this and to do it. So I really appreciate the work that's been doing there, and to watch it from when I started 2 years ago to when I finished, see the growth and the change and the it's not staying one static program, that everything's continuing to adapt and grow. It's been really good.
And I have a student in Bahamas Central Bank too. I was like, I'll see whether I can schedule a business trip to go Bahamas, but I haven't found the time to be able to do that travel authorization yet. But it's cool if you think about what it has helped. The thing is this, I'm going to say this, there is no such thing as a perfect program. Every program is going to have A student, B student, C student, a D student. Somebody going to come tell me your program didn't produce a good student. Say, I wonder who you talk to.
I have seen programs that only produce A students because they don't care enough to not pass students that shouldn't be passing. And they produce awful, awful candidates.
Yeah, so I have seen classes and also programs. They are so awful to students. Going to the program is such a bad experience. Nobody came out with a good taste in their mouth at the end. That's not. But I also don't want to produce a bunch of students, they can think outside the box either. So it's a tough one. There's no such thing a perfect program. Is somebody ever say, your programs suck? I say, yeah, really? Okay, well, let's see what kind of data point that you have. And I have hear about all these students are being so successful. What happened here? I would love to know.
That sounds like what do you call a medical student who barely graduates? Doctor. Thank you, Dr.
If you guys, any question, if you want to talk, just let me know. Find me.